Happy birthday!
Hey! We're recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning somewhere!
for May 2nd, 2025. My name is Bernie Burns. Sitting right over there, it's the birthday girl herself, my beautiful wife, Ashley. Say hi to Ashley, everybody.
Kind of jumping the gun a little bit, but you know what? We're not doing a podcast on my birthday, so today is what you get.
Well, we almost didn't do today's podcast. Get to that in a second. We were going to have a day off today, and I was going to use, a lot of reasons. There's a good reason for that, but then also we're going to be going on the road. As soon as we post this, we're going to be going on the road and having a day for your birthday, which is tomorrow. But we don't get the weekends off around here.
The weekends we work the most.
Yeah, we got to take our time. We can get it, and then listen. Birthdays are super important. I adore you. You are the light of my life. Even though you make purchasing decisions without consent with the rest of the group,
You're welcome.
Take it easy. We'll talk about that in a second too. That's why for your birthday, I'm taking you to a Marvel movie and Costco.
The light of my life. You know exactly what I want.
How did we get here?
Look, it's important. Tomorrow is the day the Thunderbolts asterisk comes out, and so it's important to go see it. The reviews are good. Hopefully we won't get any spoilers. We'll get there, we'll get in, we'll get out, we'll go, wow, that was a lot of post-credit scenes, and then we'll be happy and we'll go on with our day. We'll explore Costco. That was a fun thing we did in the U.S.
We went and got you a Costco card.
We went and got my Costco card. And then we found out a while ago that there is a Costco here in Scotland, but I couldn't get the Costco card here, so I had to get it in the U.S., and now we can go to Costco. But we took the kids to Costco, which may have been a mistake. But it was pretty incredible. We walk in the doors, and the first thing Finn says is, "Can we have that pool?"
Can we get a pool?
Yeah.
Because he saw some kind of pool display.
Hanging from the ceiling. That's how ridiculous Costco is. So I'm excited to see what Scottish Costco has to offer.
I like when they put things at like kid level so that kids will see it and bug the shit out of their parents to get it.
Like when all the snacks are right up front.
Except there's one place in the world where they shouldn't do that, and they did do it, which was the gift shop at the International Terminal, Terminal 5 at London Heathrow, because my little daughter was going crazy over this double-decker red bus, and she wanted to buy it, but because of all the dumb rules about this and that, we couldn't buy it because we weren't flying international out of the country, and we couldn't buy it. It's like, don't put that stuff on display it's illegal for me to buy it for the kid.
Right, and also, the double-decker bus, really, that's the thing we need to be duty-free?
Right.
All right, your cigars, fine, whatever. You've run into the issues having to deal with whiskey in duty free and all their airport exclusive editions. That's bullshit. That's fine. But now you want to mess with the red double-decker bus?
I've just solved the global economy crisis, Ashley.
Go ahead.
All the iPhones and graphics cards should be made in London Heathrow Terminal 5. They'll be tariff-free for everybody. It's a perfect plan. I love it. We're going to do it. We're going to open.
What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? I was so frustrated. I was like, I'll buy this. And then she's like, can you scan your boarding pass? I'm like, I just arrived here from America. I'm laying over to fly domestic. It's a dumb rule. You can only do it on the way out. You can't do it on the way in. I don't even know why that is, but give me a break, man. Don't tempt my little kid with that when I can't do anything about it.
I feel like airports should be one of those areas where it's like, what was that Tom Hanks movie, right? Where it's like, you're not in the country, right? This is a place that is, it's in the country, but it's not in the country. Like if you go into an embassy, right? Yeah, you're in the country, but you're not in the country.
What was that called? The terminal?
Terminal, yeah. Terminal Tom, that's what I'm going to call it.
No, it was called the terminal, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. He played a guy who was like, his passport or visa or something, his international identity basically got revoked while he was in the air.
Yeah, let's see if I remember this properly. While he was in the air, there was a coup in his home country. So his passport was no longer valid, but then he couldn't get a new passport, right? So he was just stuck living in this airport terminal. He fell into basically a bureaucratic black hole. fun movie. Anyway,
Are you a big fan of Tom Hanks? What's your favorite Tom Hanks movie?
I like Tom Hanks. Look, he's had a really great variety of types of films in his career. I know he started with a lot of the comedy stuff. He's in Big, all those like fun like screwball 80s comedies. And then he did a lot of like really nice serious stuff, a lot of Oscar stuff. Recently I did really like the what was the film he did where it's post-apocalyptic. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. Tom Hanks post-apocalyptic. Finch. You're my best Google.
On Apple, right? Yeah, it was about a guy in the post-apocalyptic world basically raising a robot. It was a kind of a unique movie. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, so that was a good recent one. But I like a lot of his work. I mean, it's almost hard to make. You could make a tier list for his stuff, but it's kind of hard to pick one favorite.
Right, and it's the weird thing to me about Tom Hanks, and I bring this up a lot whenever his name is mentioned. Occasionally, socially, somebody ends up in the crosshairs for something, right? It happens a lot. One of the best examples of that right now is ever since the change of administration in the U.S., there's been a lot of rollback of DEI stuff in America. It's gone across the board. Like Meta has had some of that stuff very publicly.
Pretty much everybody.
Has. Right. Pretty much everybody. For whatever reason, Target as a retail store has been absolutely hammered by this. Like they are bearing the brunt of that for everybody else in the US. Why Target? I don't really know. I'm sure there's some specific motivation for it. But honestly, what it really is that it's working. And once something starts to work and the dog pile starts to happen, watch the fuck out.
Yeah, I think a lot of it started, it was very grassroots when it started. It did involve them rolling back a lot of the sort of DEI policies, things like commitments to buying from Black-owned businesses, that sort of stuff. And then so a lot of minority communities decided they weren't going to shop at Target anymore. And then that gained momentum. So yeah, Target revenue is down, I believe. I'll see if I can find this here. The CEO, I think his salary, his bonus is like dropped in half.
Which is an indication of the drop in the profitability of the company.
Yes, because so many of their their
incentives.
Bonuses are based on like the revenue and how well the company is doing.
But if you ever want to get creeped out, bring this back around to Tom Hanks. If you ever want to get creeped out, Tom Hanks could make the most innocuous random post on social media and then immediately go in and click on his post and start reading the replies. For whatever reason, Tom Hanks has fallen into the crosshairs of QAnon. And I don't know why. I don't know what Tom Hanks has to do with anything or how he stepped into the forefront of that, but it's like maybe you won't get freaked out because it's a lot of social media these days. But a couple years ago, it was like if you wanted to see the real crazies out there talking about the most wild stuff as though it's fact, his replies, you could find that 100% of the time.
Yes. If I recall correctly, it was because
Forrest Gump.
He and his wife had COVID in Australia and posted, they posted a photo on Twitter basically thanking the Australian healthcare staff for taking such good care of them. And there was a barcode on the door behind them in the photo. And so this launched a huge conspiracy about that they were in a government facility and so on and so forth, and that this whole thing was, I don't know, some sort of like espionage. This was like some sort of campaign to get us to like believe in COVID or some really ridiculous, crazy stuff.
I believe the word you're looking for is psyop.
Psyop, thank you. And then it developed from there. QAnon got a hold of it, and it just exploded. And I've done as you suggested and gone to his social media and looked at posts. He's, I believe, stopped posting, but look at the most recent posts that he had, and all the replies are a nightmare scenario.
Did you watch? We were on the plane where this is very much a plane movie these days. The movie Here with him and Robin Wright, where it's all filmed from one perspective. The Zemeckis movie. No,
but that's the one right where it's basically the perspective of a place in the world throughout a long period of time. For a lot of it, it's this family living in this house or this apartment, right, where like that is the location, and it's a story about the things that take place in the location rather than a story following the family specifically.
Right. So literally from one perspective, it's like a locked camera the entire time.
Yeah, and it's cool. I like the concept. I like that those kinds of things can get made. not quite enough explosions to draw me in usually.
Is there a quality in a movie that will always supersede everything else? For me, if you follow a group of people or a person for a long period of time, like Forrest Gump was like that as well. It's like this epic tale that spans decades of their life. I'm a complete sucker for that. Oh, every time I'm a sucker for that. And even if there's like something that's supposed to draw you into the movie or a gimmick or something like that wears thin, that will never wear thin for me. And if that's in a movie, I will almost always love it.
I love a good explosion. I love a good Chris Hemsworth. If you got some dope long action scenes, I'm gonna be there.
Well, if you like explosions, Ashley, and you like buff dudes like Chris Hemsworth, our guest is going to be approaching that category soon because he's getting super buff himself. We were gonna skip today's episode, not skip it, but replace it with something else. A number of different factors came together. And there was a timing of an issue of something I was recording. And this is actually later today. We're going to be putting out an additional episode of the podcast on this channel and in these little vectors that we have for Morning Somewhere. But it's actually a preview of what the Rooster Teeth podcast is going to be like going forward. And I sat down and had a long discussion with one of my huge inspirations, legendary director Robert Rodriguez, when I was in Austin.
And if you are one of our patrons, you knew this was coming,
right?
And now it's here.
And now here it is. It's imminent, and now it's here. But I wanted to sit down and talk with him. He has a thing going on that's very timely. So now everyone gets a preview, a look at what's going on with Robert in his life. So a couple hours after this podcast airs or is released, we're going to release that as well. And we thought about having that in the place of this podcast today, but the whole thing that Ashley and I've talked about is whatever we're doing with Rooster Teeth is not going to preempt the other things that we're doing. So
we didn't want to immediately go back on that.
Right. Well, also, when you listen to the context of the conversation, it's just like talking about doing things and building a body of work. It's just, to me, it's an utterly fascinating conversation. And like most conversations with Robert, it's just afterwards, you're just like, I got to go do something right now. Like,
right.
Go make something creative immediately.
Hand me that camera. I'm writing a book.
Yeah. So
whatever it is, I'm doing something right now.
But why not both?
I can't wait.
Right? Why not both at the same time?
I'm actually filming a movie about, like, from a fixed perspective about the process of writing a book.
I'm going to invent a way to put a camera in a guitar, and I'm going to shoot a whole movie with that. That's what I'm going to do. So it's just great. So that'll be out in just a few hours. So hope you'll go listen to it. It's so great, too, because it even like picks up just midstream, which I love. Like, you're just dropped into the middle of the conversation, and we do all the, like, formal introductions and everything like 5 or 10 minutes in.
And then while you guys are enjoying that podcast, we will be enjoying my favorite kind of thing, which is explosions with Thunderbolts, which, Bernie, by the way, I heard something about this movie, that it has like a boatload of mid-credit and post-credit scenes to the point where it's got the longest end credit scene in the MCU so far. If you don't count Hawkeye, which technically has the longest one because the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus, they did a full musical number from the Steve Rogers musical as like an end credit treat, which is hilarious. But if you don't count that, then this is like the longest post-credit stuff we've got.
We need that little girl from the hot dog video to say
Hot
Hawkeye.
dog.
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
The way you say Hawkeye sounds like you're saying hot guy.
Hey, what about that Hawkeye over there? I think it's Hawkeye.
I don't even remember that. I kind of remember there was some Broadway play that was in that.
Well, it's how the series started, right? I think is that he came out of the Steve Rogers musical, and it was funny.
We complement each other really well in our relationship, and I feel like there's so many times when you carry a lot of the masculine energy, like things that you normally associate as being the guy thing. Like, we're making a joke that I'm dragging her to see a Marvel movie for her birthday. That's what she wants to see. You want to be in a Marvel. You've been talking about this one for months.
Yes, I've been like, we have to go see this, and we have to go see this on opening day. This is very important.
You
so
love this stuff.
We're going to go there. And, it helps as well that it's reviewing well and that everyone says that it's good. That's a bonus. But trust me, it was not a requirement. But no, I'm excited about this one. And now I'm really curious to see, like, at the end of the movie, what that means. Because the Marvel post-credits scene, if you know what I mean, like the whole scene, has been weird for a while. Because at first, like pre-Avengers, it was cool stuff. Like it's, starting to put the team together. But recently, a lot of those scenes have lost their impact because we haven't found out like if they're going to actually build to anything or if it was maybe one day we'll do something cool. Like the fact that Charlize Theron turned up at the end of the new Doctor Strange movie. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to do this whole thing. And now we've heard absolute crickets about that ever since.
Yeah, I think everyone has a different post-credit scene that has been a letdown for them. You don't know what mine is?
What? What's yours?
So yours is Charlize Theron. Also masculine energy. That should be mine because I love Charlize Theron.
Look, no one's that straight.
No, nobody. Nobody on the planet. Nobody. Mine was, though, from Thor. It was Brett Goldstein as Hercules.
Yeah, and he just turned up and now we don't even know if that's going to go anywhere.
Well, his name wasn't on the chairs in the announcement they did. And I'm like, I want to see Brett Goldstein is Hercules, man.
Maybe they're saving him for the whole next phase. It's all going to be about him.
How great would it be if in this long rumored season 4 of Ted Lasso, if he's just inexplicably Hercules the entire time? They don't even address it the entire time.
He walks in the locker room and they're like, "Hey, Herc."
He's one of those people. I want to see everybody from the cast of Ted Lasso. I want to see them in every project from now on. You know,
they're amazing. Everyone in that show is really charismatic. They hit those roles really hard. They're fun to watch on screen. I do like watching them all with each other. It's there are some character dynamics in particular, but every single one of those actors, I do want to see in more stuff.
Me too. The Boys as well. I hope, I love The Boys.
I really hope.
It's great.
I think at this point, I'm hoping that Carl Urban can really break out. I think. I think he's got a big career ahead of him.
I hope he gets it together finally. After being a major star for now 20 years or whatever. Lord of the Rings, Judge Dredd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He did a really cool thing. He holds a special place, I think, in cinema. Because he played Judge Dredd and he committed to not taking off the mask or the helmet, which was a thing. And it was important. I don't know the comic, but it was important to people who read the comic. And he committed to it. And I love that.
And it's great. And he did the amount of acting his jaw did is really impressive.
Well, it's a good jaw. So, yeah.
It's true. That's true. He did start with a bit of an advantage.
Yeah, but so we'll see. So the best part, too, is at the end of every Marvel movie, the credits start rolling and I just turn to Ashley and she goes, yes, we have to wait for, there's a mid-credits one and then a post-credits one. And then I personally think at this point in time, we've seen with the Minecraft movie, that chicken jockey thing that was driving theater employees crazy. The post-credit scenes, they have to upset theater goers, right? Or theater employees, right?
Right. They're just get out so we can clean up. At this point,
that's our time.
Theaters, I assume, have to, or now they know if one of those exists, and they schedule that into the overall runtime. So they don't start cleaning as early. It means they have to book the next showing that much further out because they know that dweebs like me are not going to leave until they see the Minecraft post-credit scene.
Runner up to a disappointing post-credit scene.
Yep.
Kit Harington as Black Knight. That was also.
Oh, yeah, because we're just probably not going to see anything in that direction again.
Things could happen, though. You don't know.
They could.
They're out there. It's open-ended, you know?
That depends. Did he have a chair?
What does that mean?
for what, Doomsday? Does he have a chair with his name on it?
One of the director's chairs. I think it's also why I thought Doomsday had been filming for a long time.
Oh, it's because they posted the chairs so long ago. Yeah. But no, I'm excited about it. It's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
So some economic indicators. You know how I love my crazy economic indicators?
I do.
There's a latest one why we're in recession. Before I say this though, I'm trying to say what story should I tell more? Should I tell the story about sex workers first? Or should I apologize to my wife first? It's specifically an order.
What?
There should be an order to those things.
Okay, let's talk about the sex workers and then get the apology. And just in case you need to do it twice.
That makes it sound way more salacious than what it is that what I'm going to apologize for. But apparently, brothels and strip clubs have reported double-digit dives in revenue. Sex workers are a leading indicator that the economy's getting worse and worse.
Right,
and worse.
That's when people really need to tighten their belts. Is when they stop dropping on the strippers
by not tightening their belts.
Yeah, they tighten their belts and then they keep them tight.
They said the revenue is down by about 20%, which is significant. I mean that's right in line with the stock market. The stock market went down about 20%.
Yeah, so. Another fascinating economic indicator as well is the price of Xbox just went up.
That is very relevant because I need to apologize to my wife. That's you.
Yep. I'm waiting with bated breath.
This did not make its way to the air, but we had a very normal household discussion where you said you discovered, I didn't know this. I was upset because our Xbox Series S, which is what we have in Austin, it wasn't running some of the newer games. I forget what game I wanted to play, but it wouldn't run it.
Well, I discovered this specifically because I went to get Oblivion, right? And it said you can play this via. Yes, Bernie, go ahead with your hand up.
Mine was Dead Rising Remastered.
Okay.
You just reminded me. Go.
So I went to get Oblivion and it said you have to do the cloud streaming on this console, and I was like, what? They're only releasing it via cloud streaming? It didn't sound like that from what everyone was saying. And then I looked it up and it said you can't play Oblivion on this console, and I went, why not? It's a Series S. Went and looked in the back. It's not. It was an Xbox One.
So it wasn't even a Series S, whatever the latest model is. It was like a generation behind, which is why I couldn't play the games, but I assumed it just wasn't available in Series S. So I actually discovered this. So she said, hey, we need to upgrade this Xbox and get a new one. And I was like, well, we just started a company. We're doing this, we're doing that. Maybe we don't need to buy it. And Ashley's reply to that was, I do what I want.
Actually, I think what happened specifically was you left for a baseball game and I went and got one.
That's what it was. I came home to wrappers of like Xbox wrappers, and I was like, what is this? And everything else was hidden, but I did recognize the inner like gizzards of a Xbox package.
It's important so I can do my work.
I agree completely. But then I was like, we had a little thing where it's like, hey, did you buy the Xbox that we were talking about? And you were like, yeah, it was, I got the digital only model and it was like $100 cheaper. And I was like, well, I thought we talked about all the stuff and blah, blah, you know, and everything. It wasn't, I wouldn't say it was tense, but it was serious discussion.
Uh-huh.
Like it was like no joking around. Really.
Okay, it's good to know that it was serious on your end.
Yeah, I
because
know.
I was just completely disregarding what you were saying.
You totally wrong. I do what I want, bitch.
I was checked out. I was busy going, look how cool Clair Obscur is.
So, by the way, sold 1 million copies.
Yes.
That is nothing to sneeze at.
I've been, it's funny because I got the new Xbox for Oblivion and instead I've been playing Clair Obscur on it. Which, by the way, incredible game. And I've learned a lot about this game since I last talked about it on the podcast. One of the big things is I saw someone made a comment that they were so happy that I was checking it out, but they were surprised I didn't mention the voice cast. And I went, why would I mention the voice cast? I went and looked it up. You know who the main character is?
Is it me?
Daredevil, baby.
Oh,
Charlie
really?
Cox, is the voice for the main guy. I had no idea, and I was like, he is really, really good.
Okay, so that's fascinating to me. Is the main character's name not Claire? Is she not a woman? I'm being serious.
His name is Gustav. I don't know what Clair Obscur means yet.
I see.
Maybe it's French. I don't know.
It sounds like clear and obscure at the same time. It's an oxymoron, Ashley. So anyway, long story short, too late. They have now announced that the Xbox is going up $100 in price, and I'm assuming it's immediate.
Yeah, so this is specifically as a result of what they're calling market conditions. The price of Xbox is rising by like 20%. Also, the price of their games is going to be going up. So
80 bones, man.
Yeah, so this is I assume this seems to be very much tariff based, but also possibly a result of we saw with Nintendo announcing the Switch 2 and a lot of their first party games, the cost of those is going up. They're charging even more for physical versions of the games, and we knew that probably a lot of other companies would soon follow suit because then they're not first to hike the prices, right?
I think Nintendo's getting unfairly blamed for this. I mean, and Nintendo it's been like 3 years of straight inflation now, tariffs on top of it. Why is everyone pointing their fingers at goddamn Nintendo?
Because they broke the ground, right? It's like they broke the line. All right. And that's why. I'm not saying it's because of them specifically. I'm saying that, if you go like jump in water, the first person to like hit the water sort of breaks the the surface tension and causes the ripples that then makes it easier for other people to hit the water.
Yeah, it was funny because I went back to visit the University of Texas just recently. I think we mentioned that in the discussion with Robert. And I went to TSTV to visit. It was really cool. But there is a crosswalk there that's a gigantic crosswalk where literally at every cycle of it, 60 to 100 people cross the street there. It's right in front of the tower at UT. And I remembered decades later that if you're just standing there, if someone decides to jaywalk, it's
everyone is going to jaywalk.
Lemmings, dude.
Right,
I mean, everyone.
All it takes is like one person has to start it, and then everyone else goes, all right, well, they did it, so now we're all doing it.
Not even that. They just cue off of somebody walking, and in their head, it's now green, and we're going, and everyone just blocks traffic. I'm surprised there's never been a major accident from that. Because no one's paying attention. It's just like you see someone start walking, it's like, oh, we're all going. And then like 2 or 3 other people go, and they might even stop, but by that point, floodgates are open. Man.
Right, now the momentum is there.
Yeah.
So, yes, I suspect we'll now see other games rising in price as well. It is unusual, though, to see for something like the Xbox. Is this the first time the price of a console has gone up during its life cycle rather than down?
Oh, that's a good question. You mean for an actual released model, it went up in price during its life cycle? Man, that's a really good question. I think probably you're right. Like they didn't put out anything new. There's not like an iteration on it. It's just the same one. Those always go down, not up. I don't think I've ever heard of one going up before.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's interesting. And a lot of times
Imagine if you were a sex worker playing Xbox.
Things just got real hard.
Don't worry, it's coming your way, everybody else. Sex workers are just first. I wonder if OnlyFans has been affected by it.
This trickle-down economics.
What if that's been a thing, too? Like, I wonder if OnlyFans versus other types of entertainment have been affected by that same downturn.
Well, I mean, either that or if people just can't afford to go out to the strip clubs anymore because the steaks cost too much, but they can get it maybe at a lower price digitally. I don't really know.
I know somebody who works in that world, like in that arm of hospitality. And you do not say OnlyFans around that person. You don't say that. That's
a dirty word.
Oh, man. It is really affected them. Honestly, it's just democratized all that. I think it's all for the better. But it's just sometimes you're just like, all right, this is a horrible thing in your life, so I won't mention it around you.
Right. Like this is a thing that we won't talk about. That's fine.
Right.
That's fine. We can talk about so many other things instead.
I won't rub your face in OnlyFans unless you pay me $20 a month and you're into that.
Yeah. Instead of You know, I'll rub your face in instead.
Anyway, I owe you an apology. You saved us $100.
Yes.
So
yes.
you bought the thing, and now it's like a totally mea culpa. I was walking around. I thought we were in this together. You ended up saving us $100 by pulling the trigger.
Well,
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
You timed the market. Nobody can do that, and you did it. You timed the market.
It's all in retrospect, baby. This could have been. I could have bought at the peak instead. I bought in the dip.
It's that birthday streak, man. that birthday luck.
Well, before we go for the weekend, I do want to say a couple quick thanks to our sponsors for today, Benjamin Beaupre and E. Thank you both so much for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsomewhere.
All right, and that does it for us today. Later on, like we said, there's going to be a sneak peek at the new tone and style of the Rooster Teeth podcast. More chill conversation, one-on-one. Take a look at it. Take a listen, I should say. See what you think. Let us know what you think and leave a comment, please, for our discussion with Robert Rodriguez. All right, well, that does it for us this week, ending May 2nd, 2025. We will be back in about 2 hours to talk to you. We hope you'll be here as well.
Bye, everybody.